Okay, good morning, everybody. Today is Monday, March 30. Our focus for learning for today is I can solve for missing measures given a circle with a tangent and a secant. We talked about solving for missing measures when we have a circle that has a tangent and a secant in it last week, and I noticed that a lot of you commented on the Google form from Thursday that you were still having a little bit of trouble with solving the problems that have a tangent and a secant in them. So we're going to kind of go over that and just do another example of that today. So before we get going, I need you to open your What Did I Do Today document and make sure you type your focus for learning in the Monday, March 30 block. Today's assignment is going to be a little bit different than the ones that we've been doing in the past because we're going to use a website called Edpuzzle. And on Edpuzzle, the video and the assignment are going to be together. It's going to be connected. So you're going to be listening to this video, and then there will be parts of the video where it pauses, and then you are asked to answer a question. So answering those questions within this video, that is your assignment for today. So the video and the assignment are kind of bundled up in one for today when we use Edpuzzle. Alright, so before we get going on solving the problems that have a circle with a tangent and a secant, we need to do some review. So, if a segment is tangent to a circle, how many times does it touch the circle? And now the video is going to pause, and you're going to answer this question. So, if a segment is tangent to a circle, how many times does it touch the circle? Hopefully, the answer that you put in there is once. A tangent touches the circle one time. So, if something is tangent to a circle, it's going to touch the circle one time. And remember, we called that point where the tangent touches the circle, we called it the point of tangency. All right, review question number 2. If a segment is secant to a circle, how many times does that segment cross through the circle? So you're going to answer that question right now. And hopefully you said twice. A secant, hold on, let me make this green, crosses through or touches a circle 2 times. So a tangent touches once and a secant touches twice. Those vocabulary words are important to understand in order to solve this problem, right? Here, so another question. Now we have a circle. On this circle we have 2 segments. One of them is secant to the circle and one of them is tangent to the circle. So the next question is the segment highlighted in blue? So this one that's already highlighted in blue right here. Is this segment tangent to the circle or secant to the circle? The blue segment is secant to the circle. So hopefully that's what you picked in the question right there. Let's look at why. So it is secant to the circle because it crosses through or touches the circle 2 times. Where those 2 smiley faces are, those are the 2 places that the secant touches the circle. All right, now let's look at the green segment here. So is this green segment, the one we have highlighted in green, I'll go back over it, is this segment tangent to the circle or secant to the circle? And this one, hopefully you selected tangent. The green segment is tangent to the circle because as we can see here, let me get my creative pen. I'll use a star. It touches the circle 1 time and 1 time only. Okay, so now that we've reviewed what the word tangent means, what the word secant means, and we've looked at this example right here, and we've decided which segment is tangent to the circle and which segment is secant to the circle, we can kind of revisit this formula that we looked at last week. So, where I have this smiley face, this is the formula we looked at last time. we said when we have a tangent and a secant, it's equal to whole times whole equals whole times outside. And so I know that we were having some confusion, some trouble with that, so I kind of reworded it. So how you're going to solve for a missing measure when you have a tangent and a secant, let's look at this. We're going to say it's the whole tangent times the whole tangent. So that's going to be the left side of our equal sign. Whole tangent times whole tangent equals, then on the right hand side of that equal sign, you're going to have the whole secant times the outside part of the secant. So I think rewording the formula like I have here, I'm going to put, oh, I don't know what that was. I did not want to do that. I'm going to put a star by it. I think rewording the formula like this will probably help us. So think of it as whole tangent times whole tangent equals the whole secant times the outside part of the secant. And now we're actually going to go through and we're going to solve this problem right here for x. Alright, so again, this is the same picture and the same formula with the star by it here is the one we're going to use. So whole tangent times whole tangent equals whole secant times the outside part of the secant. So what I want you to do right now, the video is going to pause and a question is going to pop up. I want you to pick what you think the first line of this equation should look like. If we have whole tangent times whole tangent equals whole secant times the outside part of the secant, I want you to pick what you think that first line will look like. Alright, hopefully you picked the answer that looks like this. X times x equals 10 times 3. So now we're going to go through and we're going to look at where did those parts come from. So we've already established that this segment highlighted in green, that was the tangent because it touches the circle once. So whole tangent times whole tangent, well, you got to ask yourself, what is the value of that tangent? And it is x. So that's where we get the x times x. Equals 10 times 3. So 10, that's in the spot of the whole secant. So how do we get that 10? You add the two parts of the secant together. So 7 plus 3 is equal to 10. That's where the 10 came from. That's how we get the value of the whole secant. Times the outside part of the secant. So you want to look and say which part of that blue line is outside the circle. It's the 3 units. So that's where we get the 3. Alright, then we go through x times x is x squared. 10 times 3 is 30. So that's the next line of our equation. The next question I have for you that you're going to answer is, how do you undo squaring a number? What is the inverse of squaring a number? And I hope you said take the square root, because what we need to do now is take the square root of both sides, because that's how we undo that x squared. And then when we take the square root of both sides, we get x equals about 5.5. Alright, so this was just recapping a topic that we did last week, kind of clarifying it a little bit and rewriting the formula to say whole tangent times whole tangent equals the whole secant times the outside part of the secant. I think that makes it a little bit more clear on what you should be doing. So your assignment you've already completed. So your assignment was to watch this video and answer the questions that are within it, and then make sure you write a complete sentence about what you did today in your what did I do today document on the Monday, March 30 block. If you have any questions about this, be sure to email me or post on Classroom, and I will talk to you all tomorrow.